ONN. This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Here are your hosts, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Welcome to On the Money. Scotty, it's a little strange being here with no Ohio State football yesterday, but I am a lot more rested than I normally am on a Sunday, especially when they have like night games and I'm doing a podcast till like 2 in the morning and coming in here. I feel great today. How are you doing, my friend?
I feel great as well. Spent the entire day from noon till about midnight watching nothing but football and loved every minute of it. I know it was a bye week. We missed watching the Buckeyes play, but there was a lot of fun action, including last night. Dave, Georgia in serious trouble against Kentucky. And kind of the headline this morning is Ohio State and Georgia are now co-favorites to win the national championship. Did your opinion on Georgia change at all for their prospects this season based on what you saw last night?
Yes, and I kind of figured Kentucky might give them like a decent game, but I certainly didn't think it'd be like that. They looked out of sorts. And, Kentucky playing at home. Stoops has turned them into a solid program, which to do that at Kentucky in the SEC, tough sledding, but he's done it. So, granted, that's not like, they weren't playing Sisters of the Poor, but yeah, man, I mean, Georgia's supposed to be this unstoppable force, and they looked very pedestrian. Again, it's one game. It's on the road at night against a conference opponent, so weird things can happen, but Kentucky did not look good at all early this season. So, maybe it was just a thing where Kentucky just kind of found itself last night, or maybe Georgia's just not as good as we thought. And Carson Beck, a lot of people were pegging him as the number 1 overall pick of the draft. It's a pretty weak quarterback year if Carson Beck's the number 1 pick of the draft, my friend.
Well, a couple things from that game. First off, you're right. Kentucky the week before they were absolutely dreadful against South Carolina. Just got destroyed. That game was 31-6. So Georgia comes into this game huge favorite, more than a 3-touchdown favorite, and it feels like, okay, this is going to be an absolute dominating performance for Georgia. And it was the complete opposite, because I thought the thing that stood out to me last night during that game was Georgia got dominated up front by the Kentucky offensive line. Like, Kentucky was just running the ball all over Georgia, dominated the time of possession, and Georgia really couldn't get anything going on offense either. So it was one of those where, look, teams go through these during seasons where it's like you have a game that's a really tough game and you survive and you advance and, okay, you move on. But I actually do believe that there's some things that Georgia has to be concerned about based on just getting dominated up front last night. And yes, they pull off the win, but that's a bad Kentucky team that they beat. And now I do have a little bit of doubts going forward about Georgia.
Alabama beats Wisconsin in Madison 42-10. All right, Crimson Tide enter the game favored by 16. Okay, Wisconsin, their quarterback goes out on the opening drive, but they kick a field goal, they go up 3-0. Right, and Alabama gets the ball. They drive down quickly, I might add. They were looking, I was like, uh-oh, this doesn't look good. And they miss the field goal. Alabama does. Wisconsin gets the ball back. It's 3-0 Wisconsin. The line dropped all the way to minus 10.5 Alabama. I hit that. I felt bad for Luke because I was like, I'm betting against Luke here, and I don't like Alabama. But I made a couple of bets for Alabama to cover, and boy, did they cover and smother. And I don't think Van Dyke's that good, but certainly he's better than his backup. Braden Locke's the guy that started against Ohio State last year, when their starting quarterback got hurt, and he didn't look good. He was actually like a pretty solid 4-star recruit, Scotty, but he did not look good. And Alabama's, I don't know if it would have made a difference, but man, Alabama looked really good, and Wisconsin looks very bad.
Well, you've seen how I behave when quarterbacks get injured and I'm in a betting situation. So yes. A few years back, of course, we're at Hollywood Casino Lawrenceburg before sports gambling was legalized in the state of Ohio. We were doing a show out there, and Ben Roethlisberger got hurt during a game. And we're in the casino, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's down. He's down. It looks like it was a concussion. And so I'm running to a kiosk. Old ladies in the way, scooting around, doing spin moves around them, and I'm hustling to that kiosk to get money in because it looked like Ben was going to be out. Well, I got to be honest, I was in my friend's backyard, and we were kind of just chit-chatting or whatever, and I noticed Tyler Van Dyke goes down. And now Tyler Van Dyke is not exactly Ben Roethlisberger here. But knowing that a backup quarterback's going to come in against this Alabama team, I, of course, stop the conversation I'm having, run over, grab my phone, and get that bet in on Alabama as well. And yeah, Alabama ends up dominating 42-10. But really, to me, like looking at this as far as national championship contenders, we've talked about this multiple weeks of how many teams can win the title. And I think that number just keeps growing week by week. I know I've now added Alabama to that list because I didn't think that they were on there originally at the start of the year. I've now, guys, added Tennessee because that Tennessee team, I think, is absolutely terrific, and I'm worried about them going forward. And then another team that I didn't have on there originally, but now I do believe is a legit contender, is Miami, and they've got the new Heisman Trophy favorite as their quarterback as well.
Good. I made a futures bet a couple weeks ago on Cam Ward when he was it wasn't a long shot. I think I got him at like 10-1 at best. Maybe it was like 9-1, something like that.
Down to 5.
So I'll take that. That's probably going to be, unless Will Howard wins it or
Jeremiah Smith. Let's go.
Just the fact that that's even like, we're not even like joking. Like it's, again, he is kind of a long shot, but like not like an extreme long shot. We're talking about a true freshman wide receiver. It's insane. He's got it all, man. He's going to break Chris Carter's record. There's no doubt about it.
I thought it was a shame that Arizona looked the way they did Friday night because I think their receiver could have been and probably should be a big-time Heisman contender to Tara McMillan. I mean, that dude can play. Even in a loss, he put up big numbers the other night. But I just don't think they're going to end up being good enough for him to be in the conversation, which sucks because he's really good.
Michigan was favored by 21.5 over Arkansas State. Looked like they were going to cover. Then Arkansas State really played well in the fourth quarter. Michigan wins 28-18. Here's the thing, though. They're a mess at quarterback. Davis Warren had one of the more interesting stat lines you'll see. He was 11 of 14, just over 100 yards. Not bad. No touchdowns, but 11 of 14. Not bad. But those 3, all interceptions. So he threw 14 passes. None of them hit the ground. And then they bring Alex Orji in there, as I joked. Fullback Alex Orji enters the game for Michigan at quarterback. He really is. He's like a fullback playing quarterback. He can't throw the ball. Listen, man, it's going to be bad. And their defense is not as good. Their defense is good. They've got some studs on that team. Will Johnson is fantastic. Mason Graham, fantastic. They've got some studs on that defense. Wink Martindale, ugh. And they don't have the depth, and their offense is a disaster.
You know, it's kind of funny. It brings me back to years ago when it was John O'Korn as Michigan's quarterback. And it was just, we appreciated him so much. I remember going to that game up at Michigan, and it was like his throws were like punts. It was like 50-50 balls, 50-50 balls. And it was like, I appreciate the fact that John O'Korn is the best that you can offer at Michigan. And yeah, they're having issues there as well. I do want to give you a ton of credit real quick because you have steered me. You have steered me to this team, and I think there is betting advantages. You and I both took advantage of this last night, but I think there's still going to be betting advantages with this team going forward, and that's Indiana. Guys, Indiana is for real. You called it before the season started. You said take Indiana over on the 5.5 win total for the season. They're already 3-0. Last night, they absolutely dominated UCLA. I threw in Indiana on just about every single parlay that I put together yesterday. So I was a very, very happy man when they got out to a 21-0 lead right away and just dominated UCLA. Great call by you, Dave.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Up next, we're going to talk some Ohio State football on the money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
My name is Marsha Blanks, and I live here in Cleveland, Ohio. Like a lot of African Americans, diabetes runs in our family. I have diabetes, and my husband has diabetes. His was worse than mine, and we made the decision that he would go on the insulin and I would not. It was too expensive. The drug companies are making a fortune. Nothing changed with the formulas, so why was it becoming so expensive? When I heard that Sherrod Brown had capped insulin at $35, it meant that I could now take insulin and control my diabetes even better. It was was a godsend. I'm feeling better. I'm losing weight. Sherrod, he stood up to the drug companies, and he actually won. And that showed me that he cared about us. I am 66 years old, and I do not plan on slowing down. And that's thanks to Sherrod, because I got the medicine I needed.
I'm Sherrod Brown, running for Senate. I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Sherrod Brown.
Fall favorites are back in season this week at Meijer. Find locally grown and freshly picked apples in the produce department. Plus, get fresh from Meijer family pack boneless chicken thighs for $2.99 per pound. And Meijer potato or tortilla chips, 3 for $6 when you buy 3 or more. And you'll always get the same low price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Find everything you need in just one stop when you shop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Common Man and T-Bone here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, do you know that there's games going on this weekend?
Oh, I know. And your game day headquarters is the sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Massive TV walls, 12,000 square feet, and all the gaming action you could want.
Wager at one of 4 betting windows and 30-plus betting kiosks. Beat the crowd and reserve a table for all game days this fall at HollywoodColumbus.com.
Wow, private table. Must be nice. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here for Truehold. Home values in the city, well, they're sky high. We know that. You have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's the right time. Except for 2 things. High interest rates are going to burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Pretty smart, right? Truehold is going to make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others, and it's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, secure your retirement, and do whatever you want with it. It's your cash. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. Again, that's Truehold.com.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
So we mentioned Ohio State now a co-favorite to win the national championship with Georgia after Georgia barely squeaking by just 1 point over Kentucky last night. There is an updated line on Ohio State, Michigan. That number just keeps growing and growing and growing. Ohio State now a 19.5-point favorite over Michigan.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And the money line.
It was like 9.5.
Yes,
wasn't it?
It was
it's
at one point.
Up by 10?
Now, before yesterday, it was 17.5. And so then yesterday happens and it grows up to 19.5. So it week by week by week, we see it just keep going higher. At the start of the season, you're right, though, it was 9.5. Then Michigan struggling to start. Obviously, we saw it go to 13.5, and it just keeps growing. But right now, right today, this morning, Ohio State 19.5-point favorite over Michigan. Michigan would be 10-1 on the money line to win that game, which they're not going to do.
Let's just hope they get on the bus and come down to Columbus.
Yes.
I'm worried their season's going to go off the rails so much. They're just going to, we're just going to forfeit.
Well, that wouldn't be so bad.
They need to come down. That would be bad.
Well,
they need to come down. They need to come down and face their medicine on November 30th.
If the season goes off the rails, I'd be okay with that, though, for Michigan. Okay, let's update some more Buckeye odds because it is still, you can still get the over 10.5 wins on the season for Ohio State. That is currently minus 170. Ohio State now minus 105 to win the Big Ten Conference, and they are plus 350 to win the national championship. So, Dave, let's kind of go over the updated national championship odds because Georgia plus 350, Ohio State plus 350. There's a little bit of a tiny drop off, and then you get to Texas at plus 550. Now, the Quinn Ewers information is going to be very interesting. How long is he going to be out? That's a question mark. So much so that it has dropped his Heisman Trophy odds from being the favorite to win it going into the week to now 19-1. That's a humongous drop as far as his odds with the Heisman. So we'll see how long he's out. And then you have Alabama, who's still sitting there at plus 950. Oregon, Now, Oregon was right up there, right around Ohio State's odds a couple weeks ago. Kind of struggled in their first two games, but was dominant yesterday. Dave, they're 11-1. Maybe a little bit of value on Oregon right now.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that during the break. That is interesting because I think now people saw Oregon struggle the first 2 weeks. Who knows? Maybe they just didn't want to show much. Maybe Boise's a pretty good team, combination of both. And then they go out there. I thought that might be a little bit of a tricky game for them. I thought they'd win, but you're going at Oregon State, who would like nothing more than after you ditched them. They're rivals anyway, and it just was enhanced. I'm like, okay, Oregon's going on the road. Yeah, Oregon's the better team. I bet it'll be somewhat close. No. Thankfully, I didn't literally bet. I just thought it was going to be close. But, yeah, I'm with you. There seems to be some value there on Oregon. I'm also just, and I hate to say this, I'm just very, very, very impressed with the SEC this year. I mean, they're good every year. But let's check this out. I mean, these are legit national championship contenders. Obviously, Georgia, Texas, Bama, Ole Miss, Tennessee. All legit. And then Missouri's there with the 11th lowest odds. So technically they would have, 6 teams right now if you just went by that, the Vegas odds. They have 6 of the top 11.
Yeah, and
they would have
Big
11.
Ten has 4.
And the Big Ten has
USC, Penn State.
Oh, I forgot about USC. You're right. Ohio
Oregon.
State. Yeah, you're right though. It's Big Ten, SEC, and then is anybody else even in there?
Miami is one you throw in there.
Miami is tied with Penn State at 18-1. Just barely on the outside looking in, you have Utah at 12th. 12-1.
Yeah, let's talk for a second about the Big 12 before we take a break, because this Big 12 to me is very interesting because Kansas State looked very good destroying Arizona, and then you got an Oklahoma State team that's at home against Utah this coming week. That's one conference where we thought it would be kind of wide open. It feels like those 3 teams have separated from everybody else in that conference. But to me, it's hard to pick between those 3 who the best is in the Big 12.
It really is. And you nailed it. It just feels like it's a 3-horse race. Could another team jump in there? Kansas doesn't look good. Colorado coming off a big win against Colorado State, but I don't think Colorado's going to have the offensive line or defensive line to contend for. I'm with you, man. It looks like a 3-horse race for the Big 12 title, and you're going to get an automatic bid and a first-round bye. And then ACC, I'm going to be shocked if anybody except for Miami wins that conference.
Yeah, Pitt had a nice win yesterday, but overall, it feels like it's Miami's conference.
Clemson might be not as bad as we thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Dabo completely ignoring the transfer portal. Just, you can't do that. Even if you hate it, you have to. I'm sure Ryan Day has to do a lot of stuff that he doesn't want to do, right?
Yeah.
You need to do that as a head coach.
You know, one thing people don't want to do is they don't want to talk about that Browns game from last week. So we're going to look forward instead. We're going to look at the Browns-Jags. That's next on The Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN. The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
You can use your phone at a doctor's office. You can use your phone at a football game. You can even use your phone at an amusement park. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines now start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and prevent storm damage. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
Scotty, I think I've said this pretty much for the last 30 years, maybe more, with very few exceptions, certain years. Thank God we have the Buckeyes, because we also have Ohio Pro Football. And I don't whichever, if you're a Browns fan or a Bengals fan, it's tough sledding. Most years, not all, but definitely most. All right, so we're gonna get to the Bengals next segment. Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. Jags are favored by 3 today in Jacksonville, but maybe Cleveland can get the job done here. But Deshaun Watson needs to look exponentially better. It's not like he needs to improve a little bit. No, he needs to be a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Well, he also needs to not be sacked 6 times.
I thought you were going somewhere else there, but thank you.
He had 169 passing yards on 45 attempts. 45 attempts, 169 passing yards. No quarterback has ever had fewer than 200 yards on 45-plus attempts in Week 1, and it's only been done twice in the regular season since 2015. That's absolutely horrendous. But, guys, I am on the Browns today. I am taking the Browns +3. Call me an idiot.
Sunshine.
Call me an idiot, but I still love this Browns defense. I really do. They held the Cowboys to just 2 offensive touchdowns, only 4.4 yards per play last week. Jags didn't exactly light things up offensively last week against Miami, only had 267 total yards. So, guys, I'm trusting that Browns defense to get it done, and at the +3, I'll take the plus points.
I really don't think they're as bad as they looked last week.
No.
I was kind of surprised that I thought the Cowboys might be in a little bit of a disarray. No, the Browns were in disarray. No, Ryan, is there a chance they're going to get out of this contract? There's been some talk maybe because when he restructured his contract, there's some language in there where if he knew about this latest allegation and he didn't tell them, maybe he didn't know that they could get out of the guaranteed money.
Well, I mean, if what's being alleged is true, he might be out of the league. So I agree with that. They can get out of the contract that way. There's so many things about this Browns team, though, that you guys just talked about. And you talked about sacked 6 times. If you go look at the tape, that's on him a lot.
Yes, it is.
That offensive line didn't do as bad as those numbers look. In fact, if you go back, there's clips out on Twitter circulating. DeJuan Jones on Micah Parsons, one-on-one, just showing their matchup, and DeJuan Jones was dominating that matchup. Deshaun Watson just couldn't get the ball out. Now, I know that they were behind last week, so you got to throw. But this is my problem with Kevin Stefanski, and it's always been when you have an offense that's built around the run game, and they couldn't get the run game going last week. Changes when you don't have Nick Chubb, obviously. But he throws the ball too much with mediocre quarterback play. And I always point to that Thursday night football game when Nick Mullins started, and he threw the ball 30 times and Chubb ran it 13. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You use the word disarray. That's what the Browns seem like they are constantly in, is disarray.
And that Thursday night game is your go-to example because it's a great example. Like, you have arguably at the time the best running back in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You have a quarterback that can't throw the ball. You have a good offensive line. And I bet the defense will stack in the box fine. Run the ball.
I will say this, though, Scotty. I kind of like the value on the Browns today to win this game because they do have a good roster. And Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence haven't been what we thought they were going to be the past couple of years.
No, and here's the thing about Jacksonville, too. They don't generate a ton of pressure, right? So that's going to help the Browns today. In fact, they only got pressure on 14% of the time last week in week 1 against Miami, which is 27th in the NFL. And then the other thing is Jacksonville also has a couple major injuries. Number 1 cornerback out, starting safety out. So those are 2 big-time things that will benefit the Browns as well.
The Browns. I shouldn't say it's good that somebody's hurt, but it's good for the Browns.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the Browns did put 5 defensive players on IR this week, too.
That's good for the Jags.
Not good. Yes.
A little bit of a mash unit on both sides.
Where are you
there.
guys on the +3? Where do you guys stand? Because I am taking the +3.
He likes it. He just said he liked it.
I took the +3, and
Okay.
I told you, Scotty, I did every game money line, and I took the Browns. So.
Ooh.
Oh, I went in Rome. I'll go with the Browns.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys convinced me.
We're all 3 on the Browns, which means the Jags will be the play.
Did you just foreshadow?
I did. It's good radioing. All right. More good radioing will be talking about the Cincinnati Bengals or not. Either way, that's coming up next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Hey, it's Steve. Sorry I couldn't get to the phone. Leave a message at the beep.
Hey, it's Jason from Chase. Congrats on closing day. Hope your daughter enjoys the new pool.
Start your house buying journey today with the Chase My Home digital dashboard. From applications to managing your mortgage, we're with you all the way home. Chase, make more of what's yours. Visit chase.com/home. Restrictions and limitations apply to the access of Chase My Home. Home lending products subject to credit and property approval. Rates and program terms subject to change. Other restrictions apply. Member FDIC. Equal housing opportunity.
Excuse me, waiter. There's a hair in my soup. A long purple hair.
I'm so sorry. I'll get the manager.
I'm the manager. How can I help?
Wait, weren't you the Plum Insurance mascot?
What gave it away? My long purple fur?
Something like that.
What if all insurance companies were like NJM and were known for putting their policyholders first, not gimmicks? Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs.
I'll pass on dessert.
No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Your local Rite Aid might be closing, but don't worry. It's easy to transfer your prescriptions with GoodRx. First, check prices at GoodRx.com or on our app. Then show your coupon to the pharmacist. It's that simple. GoodRx can save you up to 80% on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, GoodRx is free and it works whether you have insurance or not. Download the app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Ready for a new ride? Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. When it comes to being a Newman Roofing customer, you can trust they're always going to put your needs first. They're going to give you the white glove treatment so you feel confident you're making the best decision. So don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. Give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
While the world whizzes by, enjoy a moment of me time with Tim Hortons $6 breakfast bundle. Savor a small hot or iced coffee, then add your choice of a mouth-watering hot breakfast sandwich and a crispy golden hash brown and your pick of a classic donut. All for $6, all just for you. Make your mornings all about me time with our $6 breakfast bundle. Available at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. Price and participation vary. Terms apply.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Another team looking for a huge bounce back after an ugly week one is the Cincinnati Bengals. And it is Bengals Chiefs today. Now, Zach Taylor, he happens to be 1-10 straight up now as a head coach. And that's in week 1 and 2 of the NFL season.
Is that good?
Why are they getting off to these kind of starts, Dave? As a Bengals fan, I was sitting next to you watching that game, and obviously you were frustrated, but you were really, really angry with a lot of the decisions that he made. Why is it they get off to such slow starts?
Now, it's twofold. Now, the previous years, you have to throw in the fact that Joe Burrow didn't have a training camp at all.
Yes.
He's coming back from the knee injury. That was the year they actually went to the Super Bowl. He's coming back from the knee injury, misses all the training camp. They get off to a slow start. Next year, appendectomy, misses all the training camp, get off to a slow start. Go to the AFC Championship game. Start 0-2, go to the AFC Championship game. So that's part of it. A big part of it, Scotty, is I hear from people I trust down there that it is. Now, I get that football's changed. You're not doing 3-a-days. You're not out there hitting and killing guys like throughout the day. But I hear it's a kind of a Four Seasons type of training camp. Not nearly enough hitting. And then you're getting ready to play a violent sport. You can't be out there just playing patty cake during training camp, doing heavy on 7-on-7, heavy on thudding up. You have to at least practice some tackling, some hitting, and they don't. And they look like a team when they go out, then they don't play any of their starters in the preseason, which I'm actually okay with that. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more, but certainly I'd like the practice to ramp up. So we're seeing a pattern now. You can excuse, it was a fluke, this, that, and then look how great it finished. Yeah, but every year Zach Taylor does not have his team ready to start the season. Every year, 1-10 the first 2 weeks, and it's going to be 1-11 after today. What a great game to bounce back. Oh, man, we had a really disappointing. At least we get to bounce back next week. Where's the game at? At Kansas City. It's like, oh, geez. Now, they have had some success against the Chiefs, so we'll see what happens. They're only a 6-point underdog, but it's disappointing. I still think they're going to be a good team. It's just very disappointing to me that Zach Taylor never has his team ready to come out. They don't even look like, I don't even need them to be in like midseason form. How about just don't look like a junior high team the first couple of weeks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well said. Well said. All right, update the line for today. The Bengals are plus 6.5, and they are plus 225 on the money line. The over-under on the game is 48.5. Now, when this line first came out before the season started, the Bengals were a 3.5-point underdog going into this game. So the line has moved 3 points. Now, you say when you were just going over that, you said you think the Bengals lose today. Now, the 6.5 points to me is a lot of points. I actually, while I agree with you that the Chiefs probably win the game, I still think that the Bengals are the right play. I think that the move from 3.5 to 6.5 is a little bit of an overreaction. I would take the Bengals plus 6.5.
And it's 6.5 now. I looked this morning; it was at 6. Yeah,
6.5.
I would probably say. I think that it's funny when the Bengals look terrible one week, and I know I just joked, yeah, you get to play the Chiefs now. They're weird though. Like when you think, okay, the Bengals are down and out, that's when they're going to have a good game. I feel like they're going to keep it close today. I wish the game was in Cincinnati, obviously, but I think Kansas City will win. I mean, is Taylor Swift going to be there? Do we know that yet?
That's the key, right?
I mean, that might be the difference right there.
It's huge. I mean, I have the record of the Chiefs when Taylor Swift is in attendance.
Pretty good?
Yeah, it's pretty darn good. It's good when she's not in attendance as well. But
Burrow's record against Mahomes is pretty good, too.
It is. In fact, that's going to lead us into our next segment, which is off the top, because I will have a question along those lines. But real quick, before we get to that, the Bengals, all right, they lose week 1, and you see those Super Bowl odds now drop all the way to 20-1. Okay, we talked about the value where Oregon struggled early, and those odds dropped, and maybe there's value in that. Now, the Bengals lose week 1, and they drop all the way to 20-1. Is now the time to grab 20-1 with the Bengals?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go with my fellow Bengal fan, Ryan Baker, and say yes.
Yeah, if you like this team, one loss dropped them 7 numbers in the odds from 13-1 to 20-1. Now's the time.
Let me ask you, Dave, are you worried about Burrow's hand?
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
Because
every week,
if Burrow's healthy, they're a Super Bowl contender.
and every week, what's he doing? Putting on the glove. There's nothing to see there. Flexing it back and forth. Oh, nothing to see there. No, I see better than I hear. There is something to see there. I don't care what lies they're telling. He hurt it bad last year to the point it ended his season. Had to have surgery. Now he's out there just playing with it all the time, flexing it, wearing this protective glove. Nothing to see here, though, right?
I mean, it's a little concerning seeing the optics of it, but if he's out there playing, I believe in him.
When we come back, I'm going to try and make Ryan and Dave look like fools on air. That's next, off the top, on the money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here for TrueHold. Home values in the city, well, they're sky high. We know that. You have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's the right time. Except for two things. High interest rates are going to burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest TrueHold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Pretty smart, right? TrueHold is going to make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others, and it's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, secure your retirement, and do whatever you want with it. It's your cash. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. TrueHold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much TrueHold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. Again, that's TrueHold.com.
Fall favorites are back in season this week at Meijer. Find locally grown and freshly picked apples in the produce department. Plus, get fresh from Meijer family pack boneless chicken thighs for $2.99 per pound. And Meijer potato or tortilla chips, 3 for $6 when you buy 3 or more. And you'll always get the same low price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Find everything you need in just one stop when you shop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Colin Man and T-Bone here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, do you know that there's games going on this weekend?
Oh, I know. And your game day headquarters is the sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Massive TV walls, 12,000 square feet, and all the gaming action you could want.
Wager at one of 4 betting windows and 30-plus betting kiosks. Beat the crowd and reserve a table for all game days this fall at HollywoodColumbus.com.
Wow, private table. Must be nice. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Here, Heart Care helps you heal faster. Advanced, minimally invasive procedures mean less time recovering and more living life. See how we care for all of you at MountCarmelForYou.com. Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at MountCarmelForYou.com.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
Welcome back to the show. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Ryan Baker. So we have a segment that we really like that we don't do enough called Off the Top. Let's do it right now, Ryan Baker.
As time ticks by, still I try. No rest for cross chops in my mind. On my own, here we go.
All right, and here we go. And this is this segment here is a little bit like Scotty Doesn't Know, only it's more like me getting to try and trick you guys, which I love to try and do.
Maybe we should call it Scotty's Revenge instead of Off the Top.
Ooh, there we go. Scotty's Revenge. I like that. All right, guys. Patrick Mahomes, he's pretty good, has only lost 25 total games in his NFL career. What 3 opposing quarterbacks are tied with 3 wins against Patrick Mahomes. You got to get all 3.
So
Joe Burrow.
I'm not happy about this because I saw this yesterday, and I remember it's Burrow and Allen, and I think Tom Brady's the other one.
Because I don't think Lamar does very well against Pat.
I know it was Burrow and Allen, and I believe Brady was the third. They all have 3 or 4 wins against him.
And Brady beat him in the Super Bowl, too. So he probably beat him when he was in New England, early in Mahomes' career. Beat him in the Super. That's at least one right there.
Vince, I know
Let's go
Burrow
with
and
that.
Allen were 2 of them, and I'm pretty sure it was Brady.
Let's go with it.
Well, that really stinks. The fact that you saw that already, because that is correct.
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know.
No, man, I hate that you guys
Scotty
got
did
that.
know. He looked it up.
Joe Burrow,
Ryan
Josh
knows.
Allen, and Tom Brady.
Burrow's the only one with a winning record.
This is almost unfair. Oh, probably. He's the only one with the winning record, Burrow?
Yes, and obviously Joe Burrow has the opportunity now to have 4, which Allen and Brady will only have 3. So
those 2 losers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So opportunity there for Joe Burrow to take the lead in the number of wins against Patrick Mahomes. Again, you can reach out to the show. We're on YouTube, and we've got some great comments on there already. Last segment, you were comparing how the Bengals were playing to a middle school team. Well, our friend Get Pumped 87 says, as a middle school football coach, please don't compare us to the Bengals.
Sorry about that, Coach. That's actually a good point, Coach. I didn't mean to offend you and your team. Don't take it personal. Maybe I should have went Pee-wee level. Now we're going to hear from a Pee-wee coach. Don't offend my guys. We're out there blocking and tackling in 5th grade. More than the Bengals are doing.
But again, you can reach out to the show. And at 10 o'clock, we are going to take your calls, talking about sports betting, talking about your opinions on week 1 with the Browns and Bengals and how they're going to hopefully bounce back. And we're also going to talk more college football. So that'll happen at 10 o'clock. We'd love to hear from you. Hop in the YouTube chat. Give us a call a little bit later on. We'll take your calls. Next off the top question. Now, Quinn Ewers hurt yesterday, and his Heisman Trophy odds have plummeted. He was the favorite. We have another new Heisman Trophy favorite this week. Your guys' responsibility here is to give me the top 3 in the odds to win the Heisman Trophy now.
Cam Ward, 5-1 is number 1.
No, you didn't look at these, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I did not.
You did tell us that one earlier in the show.
Because I said I had the futures bet on Cam Ward. It got him like a 10-1. That's cut in half to 5-1.
Right.
Okay, so Dylan Gabriel, who I think was 3rd entering the week behind Ewers and Ward. Now, Ewers was dropped because of the injury. I'm guessing Dylan Gabriel is in there?
That's what I was kind of thinking, but they haven't looked great, but I would think Gabriel.
But even one of those games where they didn't look good, he put up like crazy good stats.
I'll tell you the other 2 that came to my mind right away. Jalen Milroe, because he's been kind of lurking around there. He was 12-1 for a while. And then Nico from Tennessee. I don't know how to say his last name.
Let's just go with Nico. And the other one that crossed my mind was Jackson Dart.
That could be a good one, too.
Maybe Will Howard, but I don't think so.
I don't think Will's probably there.
He's in maybe the top 5, maybe not the top 3. All right. We want to go Ward, Gabriel, and...
Man, I personally would lean Milroe, but I have a feeling it's Nico.
Let's go Milroe.
Okay.
Milroe.
Wrong.
It's Nico.
Wrong.
Gosh, look at him.
Wrong. Correct on Cam Ward. He is the favorite, plus 480. Second, Jalen Milroe at 6-1. Third, Jackson Dart at 7-1. I'm sorry, you guys both said Dylan Gabriel was in there. He's actually 4th right now at 10-1.
Where's
Nico? Also 10-1.
Wow. Where's so they're tied for 4th. So is Will Howard 6th?
No, Carson Beck is 6th. Even despite last night's ugly performance for Georgia, he's 14-1. Arch Manning now on the board at 17-1.
Ahead of Will Howard.
Will Howard is 20-1. And let's
Jeremiah
see if Jeremiah's
still 75-1.
Yep, Jeremiah's still sitting there at 75. Travion 130. Emeka 180. So those are your Buckeyes on the board as well. Quinn Sean's 100.
I think we should do more off the top next. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it on the money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN. The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
You can use your phone at a doctor's office. You can use your phone at a football game. You can even use your phone at an amusement park. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines now start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and prevent storm damage. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Welcome back to On the Money. We want to hear from you guys. Top of the hour. 614-821-9710. 614-821-9710. Don't call yet. The lines are not open. Ryan will open those momentarily. So 614-821-9710. Would love to hear your thoughts on college football, Ohio State football, Browns, Bengals, betting, anything at all. You also can hit us up on YouTube, Twitter. We already have a lot of comments on our YouTube page. I am making middle school football coaches mad because I'm comparing the Bengals to middle school football, which normally you would think is a compliment to middle school football. Right. I'm comparing them to an NFL team, one that just went to the Super Bowl 3 years ago, but no, the way the Bengals looked last week, not a compliment. All right, Scotty, let's do some more off the top.
Okay, guys, I like to look at lines for next week right away on Sunday morning, see if there's any value. A couple weeks ago, I was able to find a little bit of value. I took Texas over Michigan. At the time, it was Texas -5, and so I quickly hopped on that. So sometimes when those odds first come out, you can find a little bit of value. So I was looking at the lines. There are 3 ranked team versus ranked team games next week, and there's betting lines out for them already. And so you guys have to get the betting line within 3 points of these 3 games. Okay. First one is USC and Michigan. What is the spread on that game? You have to be within 3 to get credit.
Where is it?
It's at
Ann
Michigan.
Arbor.
Yeah.
9.5 Trojans.
I don't think it's that high. I would say, I think it's pretty low. Maybe not.
In what way do you think it'd be low?
I want to say it's like 5.5.
You want to split the difference?
Whatever you want to do.
Whatever I want to do?
Yeah. I think it's a little lower than 9.5.
There's no way it's 5.5.
Okay.
Let's go 7.5.
Ooh, you guys were very close. It's 6.5. 6.5 is the initial line.
Boom.
And again,
He was closer than I was.
Maybe you see value right there. If you're
I
thinking
do
that
see
it's
value
around
there.
11 and a half, or
Jesus.
9.5.
If it would have been USC, if it would have been out there, I would have went with the 9.5. But
Because they've looked so good in Ann Arbor so far this year.
it has nothing to do with that. It's just the.
No, I hear you.
I'll tell you.
Oh, man. It's 6.5.
That's a line. As long as it's still under a touchdown, I would hop on it.
I'm not sold on USC yet, by the way.
I'm not sold on them to be. It depends on what sold means. Sold that they're going to win the Big Ten? Hell no.
I'm not sold
that they're going to go beat this Michigan team? Hell yes.
So you guys were within a field goal on that one. So that one you get credit for.
Bam.
Next one, Big 12 matchup. Utah is at Oklahoma State. What's the spread on that?
Man, this is very
Oklahoma
close.
State looks good. They looked good yesterday.
Cam Rising's banged up too.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State's definitely favored. I bet it's not by that much though.
I would think 3.5.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
How about
3.5?
You guys are very close. Only 1 point off. Oklahoma State is a 2.5 point favorite. Over Utah?
What do you feel about Oklahoma State in your make the playoff bet right now?
We think that's a 3-horse race in the Big 12, so you got a good chance.
It's one I stayed away from the Big 12 altogether. I know a lot of people threw Utah in at the beginning. Yeah,
I did.
I think Utah's out right now, depending on what this Cam Rising situation is.
Well, they got to beat if they beat Oklahoma State.
They have to, though.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
And by the way, Kansas State. Like we saw them, what they did against Arizona.
State,
I wasn't sold on this Avery Johnson, and now I am. I'm like, geez, okay, I see the hype.
Okay, one more. You guys are 2 for 2. One more ranked versus ranked. You guess the spread, and if you get it, you guys win off the top. If not, you lose.
No, we've already got 2. We win either way. This is just if we were undefeated.
No, you're 1-1.
No,
you
wrong.
missed the Heisman one.
Wrong.
Okay, this is for it all. $100.
This is if we go 3-0 or whatever.
Got to get it within 1 point, not 3.
No, you're not, you move the goalposts like crazy. Get out of here.
All right, here's the game. It's Tennessee at Oklahoma. What's the spread?
Ooh, that's a good one.
The at Oklahoma will make it closer, obviously, than I think it would be.
Tennessee's favored.
I want to say Tennessee by a touchdown is what I want to say, but that might be a little high because it's at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think it's lower than that. I was thinking like Tennessee 4.5. I'll let you pick this one.
Let's just kind of split it and go 5.5.
You guys go 3 for 3.
Yeah!
Tennessee is a 7.5 point favorite at Oklahoma.
Oh, you nailed it.
Man, that makes me sad that you guys got that.
That was fantastic.
I was playing the applause. What was the actual line?
7.5.
7.5.
You
Yeah.
nailed it.
It's kind of a fun week next week where you got those 3 ranked on ranked. Like this week, there wasn't like that great matchup. The Georgia game ended up being close, but I'm excited that we got those 3 games on the schedule for next week.
And I know you're not a fan of Ohio State having noon games. That means you have to go set up for the pregame show at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, I'll be out there.
I like noon games. I get done working. I still have to do my post-game podcast and everything, but then I get to watch at least probably the second half of the 3:30 games that I love. And doing what we do Sunday morning, if it's a night game and I'm staying up super late and getting like 2 hours of sleep, probably not great for the show. No,
you know what? That is the advantage, though, because when there's big-time later games, you kind of want that OSU game to be done, and then you enjoy the morning, and then the evening is for watching the other games. So I do like that as well.
And if it's a bigger game, I feel different about it. And I get you're going to have games like we had against Western Michigan, where just because of TV, you're going to have some games that should not be primetime games that will be. But a game like Marshall, I'm glad it's a noon game.
Yes. Yeah, Marshall's perfect for noon.
Definitely. So this is a weird time for a off week for Ohio State. But the fact that they have 2 off weeks this year makes it not quite as weird. And Ryan Day kind of liked it because you had the grueling training camp, then you had 2 games. It's not like they took last week off. They called it improvement week, which I liked. It wasn't like, we've arrived. We're just going to kind of just like, waltz through this week. It's like, no, we need to get better at this. Jim Knowles, they look like they're the best defense in the country. He was like, there's plays where we're getting the job done, but maybe in a matchup game, we might be a little late or we're not, our gap integrity isn't where it should be. So they have things, even though they look great against Western Michigan, they know they need to clean up. Kickoff returns another one.
Well, and I'm really curious. I know a lot of the betting lines are coming out, and we'll know the Ohio State Marshall line probably in the next hour or so. But I'm curious where that line's going to be. Marshall last week against Virginia Tech lost 31-14. Not a great Virginia Tech team. Week 1, they beat Stony Brook. So I'm guessing that line in the probably mid-30s is probably where we'll see Ohio State Marshall at.
That sounds about right. Mid-30s. I don't think it would be in the 40s. It was like 38 for Western Michigan, I believe. I think you're right. I bet it's going to be right around 34, 35, 36.
Yeah, that territory. Maybe upper 30s.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll find out the second hour of the show. We can bring that to you. Speaking of the second hour of the show, that's coming up next on The Fan. This is On the Money.
My name is Marsha Blanks, and I live here in Cleveland, Ohio. Like a lot of African Americans, diabetes runs in our family. I have diabetes, and my husband has diabetes. His was worse than mine, and we made the decision that he would go on the insulin and I would not. It was too expensive. The drug companies are making a fortune. Nothing changed with the formulas, so why was it becoming so expensive? When I heard that Sherrod Brown had capped insulin at $35, it meant that I could now take insulin and control my diabetes even better. It was a godsend. I'm feeling better. I'm losing weight. Sherrod, he stood up to the drug companies, and he actually won. And that showed me that he cared about us. I am 66 years old, and I do not plan on slowing down. And that's thanks to Sherrod, because I got the medicine I needed.
I'm Sherrod Brown, running for Senate. I approve this message. Paid for by friends of Sherrod Brown.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here for Truehold. Home values in the city, well, they're sky high. We know that. You have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's the right time. Except for two things. High interest rates are going to burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Pretty smart, right? Truehold is going to make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others, and it's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, secure your retirement, and do whatever you want with it. It's your cash. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. Again, that's Truehold.com.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers, the people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Fall favorites are back in season this week at Meijer. Find locally grown and freshly picked apples in the produce department. Plus, get fresh from Meijer family pack boneless chicken thighs for $2.99 per pound. And Meijer potato or tortilla chips 3 for $6 when you buy 3 or more. And you'll always get the same low price no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Find everything you need in just one stop when you shop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Ryan Baker. We didn't have any Buckeyes to watch yesterday, but there was a lot of college football going on. Georgia, number 1 in the country, maybe not for long. They had a scare yesterday. They have to score late, barely get by Kentucky 13-12. We got to see Arch Manning really for the first time in college football. He throws 4 touchdown passes, rushes for 1 in relief of an injured Quinn Ewers. Texas cruises 56-7. Big Big Ten games involving top 25 teams. Wisconsin gets hammered by Alabama 42-10. Oregon knocks off Oregon State 49-14. Michigan barely gets by Arkansas State 28-8. Purdue gets crushed by Notre Dame 66-7. And Nebraska hammers Northern Iowa 34-3. Both the Reds and Guardians win. Cincy beats Minnesota 11-1. Cleveland tops Tampa 6-1.
Scotty's kids don't ask how his day was. They ask if all his bets won. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
Welcome back to On the Money. 97.1 The Fan. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by Scott Prokop. We, of course, like to call him Scotty Vegas. We have Mr. Ryan Baker at the controls. This is a show about sports gambling. We like to talk sports in general. We talk a lot of Ohio State football, Browns, Bengals, a little bit of everything. We also like to celebrate at times, such as the parlay party. Hit it, Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Parlay parties where we celebrate anything we want to celebrate. Could be a nice parlay that we hit. Could be anything at all. Scotty, what are you celebrating?
Yeah, there's a lot to celebrate. First off, the fact that, starting out 1-0 in fantasy football is always a nice way to go. And especially when you do it and you're 1-0 against your boss. He likes to talk a lot of trash.
Ooh.
And
Is this Cody?
Yep. So, Cody, you are 0-1 to start the year in fantasy football.
I kind of like that you have a boss that talks trash. That's kind of good.
I do too.
It's all good fun, right?
I'll give it right back.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. He's a man of the people.
Last year, I beat him during the regular season, and he was off to a bad start, and then he went on to win the whole league.
I thought he was going to fire you.
Then I said, okay, I will not talk any more trash. But I'm already doing it again.
Don't play Sweet Lou in fantasy baseball, though. He's too into that.
I know. He really is. That's a dangerous. I always go to him for my baseball advice. The other thing that I'm celebrating, guys, is yesterday was a great day for me as far as the college football betting. You know the style of betting that I like to do. I like to do money line favorites. And yesterday was a day where there were very few upsets and pretty much hit on a lot of the parlays that I put together, which are, again, favorites just to win the game. I don't like to mess around with spreads as much. I just like to take 5, 6, 7 favorites, put them together, and come up with a big number, big parlay. And that's what I did. Pretty successful with that. The other thing is, guys, you're going to laugh at me, but man, I love Live Golf. I love Live Golf. And today,
laugh at him, please.
We've got a final round where you've got John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, Sergio Garcia, and Joaquin Niemann all within 3 strokes. Final round of the Live tournament in Chicago. I love it. I can't wait to watch it. Football will be on TV number 2 for me today. It'll be Live Golf on TV number 1. Ryan, what are you celebrating?
Scotty, I'm celebrating a college football trick that you talked about doing last year. I don't know if it's a trick, but a strategy where you just bet a bunch of heavy favorites and you get a big parlay. Now, it sucks because, who knows how many teams you have. You're going to need 12, 13, 8 teams to all win. And Georgia got a little hairy yesterday. It was a little
yes, it
rough.
did.
But nice day with the college football yesterday using that strategy of you. I'm also still pumped that we got to play some golf together this week. It had been a while, so that was fun to get out with you and a couple guys here in the office. And guys, I forgot how fun football in general, college football and NFL football betting is. And I had such a blast the last couple weekends. I'm loving this weekend already. I love that football's back for this purpose. Bids, what about you?
I'm with you. I'm just celebrating the fact that I'm going to get a chance to just sit around and watch NFL football all day. I got a chance to sit around and watch college football all day. I'm sure I'm making my wife happy and being very productive at home. What'd you do this weekend? Just watched football. What else? Watched football. So I'm celebrating that. I'm with you. I love sports in general. Football's always been my favorite. Since I was a little kid, it was my favorite sport to watch. And I was a diehard baseball fan and basketball fan growing up. But football's always been my favorite. So I'm definitely celebrating that. And Ryan, I'm also celebrating that we're going to hear from the people.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to call the show, talk about anything at all, 614, anything at all sports related. I think betting. I should probably throw that out there. Yeah, betting. Yeah, sports betting. Shouldn't say anything at all. Anything at all in the sports realm or betting realm. Give us a call, 614-821-9710. 614-821-9710. We'd love to hear from you. Ryan's going to open the phone lines up. We're also going to hear from you on our YouTube page, Twitter. I think we already have some comment. I got a couple on the Twitter machine. I think you have some on YouTube, or am I put you on the spot here? Do you have some on YouTube? Okay.
We do. I want to go to this one on Twitter first. So This one's from Nick T, because this one I love, because this has been close to my heart lately. He says, are prop bets sucker bets? And that's his question. And what he's referring to is same game parlays. So
yes. Kind of, but they're fun.
I'm so glad that you brought this up, Nick, because I 100%, yes, they are sucker bets. We've talked about this with Noah Kirk from Hollywood Casino. He said that the best return that casinos get, or sports books get, is when people put together these long same-game parlays, because the algorithms that they put together, these odds are not like true odds, right? So a lot of times you'll put 6, 7, 8, 9 things together and you'll get these odds, but they're not going to be odds of like an 8 or 9 or 10 team parlay, because some can be correlated and things like that. And yes, they're absolute sucker bets. They're fun to make. But we highly recommend those are ones that you do for a small amount of money and just don't expect to win them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, when the director of the sports book wants you to make a bet, that's a bet you don't want to make. So like if you're a professional gambler, you would never do it.
No.
But if you're just doing it just to have fun, like I do, put $5 here or $10 here on we're just doing it to have fun. So is it a sucker bet? Yeah, but if you're betting $5 or $10, like not a big deal. I don't want you going out there and putting like $100 down on some no, I guess if you're rich, it doesn't matter. But I don't want you putting like a lot of money down on a long shot parlay. That is a sucker bet. But having a little fun, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, and here's where this comes from, Dave, too. If you find a prop bet out there that you like, absolutely you can attack those. It's where you start trying to put together 5 or 6 or 7 of these where the problem is. In fact, the prop market, you can find some really, really good value out there. All right, we're going to go to James. James, thanks for the call. You're on the money.
All right, how we doing, guys?
Doing great, James. Thanks for calling.
Of course, yeah. Long-time listener, first-time caller. And my question to you guys is D-Hop ever going to get back into his true form out there in Tennessee?
It doesn't sound like it. Like, I don't follow the Titans that close, but I did read about it this week, and it sounds like they're concerned that he's just not going to be 100% for a while. I mean, he's getting up there in age. I'm somewhat concerned about that.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if we see the real Hopkins ever again.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Thanks for the call, James. We're now going to go out to Brady. Brady, what do you got for us on the money?
Hey, so I'm one of the ones that's doing one of the 15-leg parlays.
I understand.
We do them too.
I'm six deep. Like I hit Tennessee, BYU, Sacramento State, Northern Arizona, Fresno State, California.
Nice.
And last night's college slate. And then today I've got the Chargers, the Ravens, the Cowboys, Niners, Lions, Chiefs, Texans, Eagles, and Jets, and it's all money line. And it's 45 cents to win $222.
Ooh, I like it.
That's what I'm talking about. Worst case scenario, you lose 45 cents.
Well, my question is on this bet 365. They give you a cash out option, and my cash out option is $6.64 right now. Do I take that and then forget about the rest of that slate? And I'm making out like a champ on 45 cents.
Okay. Good call. Thank you. I'm so glad that you brought up the cash out scenario, because I go through this in my head a lot, because cash outs are something that's relatively new in the sports betting world as far as live cash outs. And I'll be honest with you, Brady, it's something that I kind of mostly stay away from, because what they're offering you is typically not good enough, in my opinion, because there's ways to hedge out differently than to take the cash out. Now, on your scenario, you still have 6 or 7 games left, and in your scenario, the payout is $6. I would wait. I would wait. Let's see how this plays out a little bit further.
Because all of them are favorites, right?
Yeah. So let's see if you can get a couple more of these to come through. And let's say you have one game in that list that is looking dicey, but all the others are looking good. You can hedge the other way. Put a few bucks down on the game that is looking a little dicey for you, and you can make the $6 easier doing that than just taking the cash out of the whole thing. So my opinion, instead of taking cash outs, I usually recommend hedging instead of cashing out.
All right, up next, let's hear from Rob. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Hey, guys.
I hear you have a bad beat you want to share with us. We are therapists here. We're here for you.
I probably have a book's worth of bad beats, but
so do I.
You guys are talking about parlays. This week I put two $5 parlays down on a combined 19 picks. It was a matter of hitters to get hits, pitchers to get strikeouts. Of those 19 over Tuesday and Wednesday, I hit 17, no problem. Really quickly, actually, on a lot of them. The two that didn't hit it, one on each ticket, Ben Lively, Tuesday, left early. Jose Altuve didn't get a hit Wednesday, left early.
Oh, that's brutal.
Oh, gosh.
One thing if they play, I mean, still would have sucked. But for them to both get hurt and be so close to hitting 9-leg parlays, 2 of them, and hit 8 of the 9, that's brutal.
Oh, my gosh. I hate bad beats. I hate hearing stories about bad beats because they bring up horrible memories for me. I got to tell you one real quick that I'm worried about. I have a humongous bet out there, guys, that Brooks Koepka would win this LIV tournament this week. And Brooks was up by 4 shots going into the round yesterday. And he now is 2 shots behind. And it was a bet where I was piling on money on Friday and looking very good. And he has a bad Saturday, and it's looking bad. So that's another potential bad beat for me.
I hate to see Brooks Koepka not doing well, man.
Guys, that story with Rob hits close to my heart because I do a parlay like that with every Reds game just about. And I've had so many one-aways. I had one yesterday. All I needed was an Ellie De La Cruz hit, and the Reds were up big. They took him out in like the 6th inning or something, and it was like, oh, this is over. I've probably had 4 of those, at least, maybe 5 in the last 2 weeks with Reds games alone.
You had one, I believe it was a Wednesday night show. Yeah, because it probably wasn't a Sunday morning show if the Reds game was going on.
It was a Santiago Espinal, and he had a hit it streak
all
going
he had
on.
Was he needed a hit, and you would have been in Bermuda. That was a super long shot that
I've
you
had
almost
a
hit.
lot of those with baseball over the year.
So, we're here for you to, if you want to call in and share bad beats, we're here for you. Anything at all. Here's a question from Twitter. Washington Courthouse Brutus. Okay, it's a long name. When will the Michigan penalties come down, and what will they be? Oh. Well, if you find out, let me know, because I'm curious. No, I don't know exactly. Here's what I can tell you. All the months of talk that's going to be a slap on the wrist. It's a nothing burger. The hammer is coming down. I don't know exactly what that entails, but serious sanctions are coming down. Not death penalty. And I don't know if wins are going to get vacated. And the NCAA does not have the power to remove the national championship. That's the CFP. So the NCAA cannot remove the national championship. Could the CFP? Maybe. Here's what I'm hearing. It's going to be something severe, okay? And when's it going to happen? If this season continues to go south, I think Michigan's going to be much more open to negotiate, right? They have now less than 90 days. They have the Monday of the Ohio State game, which is hilarious timing on the NCAA's part. So if I had to guess, I think Michigan's going to fight this because I know the NCAA does want vacated wins. They want vacated this and that, and Michigan's fighting that. But I do think it'll probably be after the season if I had to guess. It won't surprise me if something happens during the season, but I think we're going to find out sometime during the offseason. And again, sanctions will be severe.
I'll tell you, I still think Michigan would be making a huge mistake if they don't this year take a postseason ban themselves, right? Like, get ahead of it.
Players are going to do it for them and their coaches.
Their players are already,
After USC beats them this week, they're pretty much done.
Hey, you lose to USC, then you should be having a press conference the next day. And okay, we've decided we are going to take our postseason ban this year when it's completely irrelevant because they won't make the playoffs anyway. That would be the smart move for them to do.
But the NCAA is not going to hear that now because they have just blocked them at every chance they could. They've obstructed justice basically at every turn. The NCAA is not going to be like, okay, now that you know your season sucks, you're going to do a postseason ban. All's good. That's not going to fly.
Now, one thing that's different about a postseason ban now than what it used to be is with this transfer portal situation, now you're going to see, if a program has a postseason ban, you're going to see a lot of the top-end talent leave immediately, if that's the case. So a postseason ban is actually a tougher penalty now than what it used to be because of where it'll hurt you in your roster that year, right? In my opinion, I think it'll be, if it's announced that Michigan, let's say they have a 1 or 2 year postseason ban, then the recruiting and trying to bring people in is going to be nearly impossible. And then people leaving, anybody who's relevant will leave because of that.
What is the worst trade and or signing in NFL history? Is it Herschel Walker going to the Vikings and the Vikings basically handing a dynasty to the Cowboys? Is it Deshaun Watson to the Browns? Is it something else? That's up next on The Money.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Common Man and T-Bone here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, do you know that there's games going on this weekend?
Oh, I know. And your game day headquarters is the sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Massive TV walls, 12,000 square feet, and all the gaming action you could want.
Wager at one of 4 betting windows and 30-plus betting kiosks. Beat the crowd and reserve a table for all game days this fall at HollywoodColumbus.com.
Wow, private table. Must be nice. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
My name is Marsha Blanks, and I live here in Cleveland, Ohio. Like a lot of African Americans, diabetes runs in our family. I have diabetes, and my husband has diabetes. His was worse than mine, and we made the decision that he would go on the insulin and I would not. It was too expensive. The drug companies are making a fortune. Nothing changed with the formulas, so why was it becoming so expensive? When I heard that Sherrod Brown had capped insulin at $35, it meant that I could now take insulin and control my diabetes even better. It was a godsend. I'm feeling better. I'm losing weight. Sherrod, he stood up to the drug companies, and he actually won. And that showed me that he cared about us. I am 66 years old, and I do not plan on slowing down. And that's thanks to Sherrod, because I got the medicine I needed.
I'm Sherrod Brown running for Senate. I approve this message. Paid for by friends of Sherrod Brown.
Your car needs a new battery. That'll be $19,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a second opinion.
You wouldn't accept that quote, so why accept this one from that other company?
$19,000 for a new sewer line.
I'm going to call the waterworks instead.
Facing an expensive sewer repair? If another company's quote is way more than expected, call the Waterworks for a second opinion. We have the most experienced drain techs in Central Ohio. Call 614-232-2222.
Gambling too much? Or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, pub and gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is here for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the dopes at The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Ready for a new ride? Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
budget. My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Van Scoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Barely 5 hours a week. It's how much time most of us spend outdoors. Not nearly enough time getting lost in canopies of breathtaking fall colors. Brilliant hues extending all across America's third most forested state. We could all use a little more time outdoors, soothing mind, body, and spirit in West Virginia. Plan your fall getaway at wvtourism.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. When it comes to being a Newman Roofing customer, you can trust they're always going to put your needs first. They're going to give you the white glove treatment so you feel confident you're making the best decision. So don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. Give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
As we head into the afternoon, temperatures will go from being in the 60s to afternoon highs, topping out into the upper 80s to low 90s. As we go into tonight, expect skies to remain clear. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s to low 60s, and we start off the work week with plenty of sunshine still and just a tad bit cooler with our daytime highs in the upper 80s. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Meredith Garfalo.
Dave Biddle was caught trying to bet on office ping pong matchups. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sportsbook of ESPN. What a play.
We love hearing from you here on the Money. We are keeping the phone lines open for this segment, 614-821-9710. We've got the YouTube chat up as well. I've got a question from the YouTube chat from Zeke Bucks. And the question is, if Deshaun Watson struggles again today, do you start looking at DTR and look to the future, or do you keep playing Deshaun Watson?
Is Jameis not in the conversation here?
He should be in the conversation.
Well, I think he's saying DTR because of the future. Build for the future. But yeah, there's no way if they bench Watson, it's going to be famous Jameis.
I mean, I know, like, what was he, a 5th-round pick?
Correct.
So, listen, I know it was a 5th-round pick, but listen, he's entering a second year, Thompson Robinson. Like, you wouldn't have gone out and gotten Jameis if you were convinced he was ready to be the backup, let alone has a chance to be the future. There's no way they think Dorian Thompson-Robinson is the future.
And you're not giving up on the season yet.
Right. You still have it's one game. You got a really good defense. It's a long season. Yeah, I think if anything, if Deshaun continues to struggle, he looked really, really bad last week, like fish out of water bad. I think Jameis would be the guy. They gave Jameis a decent amount of money to be a backup, not a ton. It would be Jameis.
And then when that fails, you call up and see if Flacco's available again.
And yeah, there you go.
A trade with Scotty's Colts.
Seriously. I mean, they should have like re-signed Flacco. I don't know why they didn't do that. Now, okay, speaking of the Browns and Watson, so I put a poll on Twitter, so I saw some people saying Deshaun Watson, by far and away the worst trade signing in NFL history. And I said, I can see why people are saying that. I said, but Herschel Walker is definitely in the discussion and maybe is, the gold standard, so to speak. Why do I say that? Well, the Vikings gave up all of the draft picks for Herschel Walker. And it wasn't Herschel Walker in his prime either. And what did that do for the Dallas Cowboys? Started a dynasty. Okay, they won 3 Super Bowls. And I get it. Deshaun Watson, awful. Not only just the guaranteed money, 3 first-round picks, terrible. Russell Wilson might be in the conversation. Maybe there's another one. So I put a poll on Twitter, okay, and it finished with just over 1,600 votes. All right, what is the worst NFL trade or signing ever? Deshaun Watson, Browns. Russell Wilson, Broncos. Herschel Walker, Vikings, other. Here are your results. Deshaun Watson, Browns, 80.9%. Russell Wilson, 6.6%. Herschel Walker, 10.6%. Other, 1.9%. Now, listen, you could definitely make a salient argument for Watson being the worst of all time. I get that. But if the Texans win 3 Super Bowls, okay. I don't know how you can pick anything over Herschel Walker.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that trade happened in October of 1989. That's why the numbers are as skewed as they are. But you're right. You kind of pointed this out. You're like, hey, go back and look exactly who the Cowboys ended up getting based on their draft picks. And, you're talking about Emmitt Smith in there as well.
Just guys like that.
Yeah. And it goes on. And it's absolutely crazy what they ended up getting for that Herschel Walker trade. So that's probably the correct answer. But locally here, we got to be thinking just how horrendous that Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, you're right. It's locally and we're prisoners of the moment.
Guys, there may be a trade in the league currently right now that's worse than the Deshaun one, and that's the Trey Lance deal. Because Miami ended up, I think, through that deal with like Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and like 2 or 3 other players through that. So I'd have to go back and look for sure what that was. But Miami fleeced San Francisco in the Trey Lance deal. And then another one, obviously, back in the day was the Ricky Williams with the Saints deal because they gave up their whole draft for Ricky Williams.
Ditka was so funny. He was so excited about it. Going golfing. He had the cigar.
Wasn't he wearing dreads? Didn't he put like
I think he did. Yeah. Oh, God. You're thinking Ditka because like later in his career, he just became like more of a character, including on TV where he used to be super, super serious Ditka. That was hilarious. Yeah, but I don't think that's bad. Here's another one. When people were voting other, I had multiple people who voted other that said, hey, not yet. We're not saying necessarily yet, but Bryce Young's going to be in that discussion. Because not only did the Panthers trade up to that number 1 pick, they gave up a lot to trade up for that number 1 pick. And then they took the 5'8" guy over the CJ Stroud guy. And I am convinced, and I'm not the only one that is saying this, I am convinced Frank Reich absolutely wanted CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
And the Panthers' idiot owner, David Tepper, overruled him and took Bryce Young. How's that working out for you, buddy?
Yeah, that's going to go down as one of the absolute ridiculous moves. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's fun to look back on all these. I do agree.
Not if it's your team.
No. But it is fun. It's definitely fun to go back and look.
I still think Herschel. Where were you at on this? Herschel or Deshaun?
I think it would probably be Herschel Walker. Now, like you said, it depends because I think the Texans parlayed at least one of those Browns picks into Will Anderson last year, correct? And it depends on exactly who they got through all those. We'd have to go back and look at that and what they do here in the next couple of years. The trade is epically bad for the Browns because just think of what you could have done. Everybody always says Cleveland has one of the best rosters in the league. What could they have done with the cap space and the draft picks?
And just have Baker. Let's keep Baker.
I don't think that was going to happen because there was a disconnect between Baker and the front office and Stefanski, but you could have got some. I mean, look what you did with Flacco last year. You could have got something.
So here's what the deal ended up being. So Deshaun Watson and a 6th-round pick, which happened to be used to get Jerry Jeudy. And then the Texans got a first in 22, a 4th in 22, a 1st in 23, which, yes, was Will Anderson, a 3rd in 23, which happened to be Tank Dell, which has worked out really well, and then a 1st in 24, and then a 4th in 24. So that ended up being the entire deal there.
Jeez.
Tons of talent. I mean,
and what did they draft in this 24 draft with those picks?
I don't have that in front of me, unfortunately. But again, Tank Dell and Will Anderson were the 23 draft picks. I'll have to see who was the Texans' 1st-round pick this year. We have to look that up. But
they probably had 2 picks unless they traded one because they should have had their own. Maybe they didn't have their own because they traded that for Will Anderson along with just to move up for Will Anderson. I have to go look at that. But listen, it's got to be one of the two. I still give the advantage to Herschel Walker and the Vikings over the Browns and Deshaun Watson, but it's splitting hairs. All right, up next is the return of Convince Me right here on The Money.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, do you know that there's games going on this weekend?
Oh, I know. And your game day headquarters is the sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Massive TV walls, 12,000 square feet, and all the gaming action you could want.
Wager at one of 4 betting windows and 30-plus betting kiosks. Beat the crowd and reserve a table for all game days this fall at HollywoodColumbus.com.
Wow, private table. Must be nice. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Watch the PGA Tour's Next Generation at the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship at the Ohio State University Golf Club, September 19th through 22nd. Pub 13 drink specials, food trucks, and more. Get your free tickets at ncc-golf.com.
Score a goal with the Love My Crew checking account from Pathways, the checking account that rewards you for supporting the crew. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, official credit union of the Columbus Crew, federally insured by NCUA.
Bobby Carpenter once sold workout equipment on QVC Canada. There's no joke here. That actually happened. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. Scotty Vegas has his own cot in the casino. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sportsbook of ESPN. Wanna play?
Welcome back to On the Money. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Ryan Baker. It is time for the return of Convince Me. Ryan is going to ask a question. Scotty and I are going to try and convince him of the best answer, and then Judge Ryan Baker will make his ruling.
I can't wait for this. I love this. I miss Convince Me. I miss yelling at Ryan.
He likes it for now. This is like me. This is like me excited for the Bengals. This is like me watching a Bengals game. I'm excited for it. Wait for 5 minutes.
All right, guys, we're gonna take Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Georgia. Those 4 teams, they're out of the equation.
You're taking Oregon out of the equation too?
We're not taking Oregon out of the equation.
You said Oregon, Scotty.
He said the top 3. He did.
Top 3. Oregon's still
you wrote down Oregon. I told you not Oregon. He did say the top 3.
He did, but he said Oregon and not Georgia. And I said, what about Oh, well, it doesn't matter.
No, he said Georgia.
No Georgia, Texas, Ohio State.
You're already wrong, Judge.
Who wins the national championship?
Taking those 3 out. Okay. I'm going to go with Alabama. Here's why. There's a multitude of reasons. Now, it starts with the head coach. Coaching matters in every sport. There's not a sport where coaching matters more than football. Okay? It just matters more. Kalen DeBoer is a really good coach. How good? Well, his career record is now 107-12. 107-12 as a head coach, including did a really good job at Washington. And then, Jalen Milroe was up and down last year. He looks like he's a better quarterback. Their team speed just jumps off the screen at me, and I love their D-line. DeBoer said this is the best defensive line he's ever had. So you have all that speed on both sides of the ball. You've got a defensive line that looks like a wrecking crew. I'm not saying now, we'll see what happens. But you take those top 3 off the board, I think Alabama it has the next best chance. And they do. They have the 4th lowest odds right now. So you take those 3 off the board, Alabama would be your betting favorite. So you give me a good coach, good quarterback, good play on both lines, a lot of team speed. I think Bama will be in the playoff for sure, and that makes them dangerous.
On the surface, Ryan, Dave made a really good argument about Alabama. Like, Alabama looks like they are a title contender. I agree with that.
You're not supposed to argue for him.
The problem with his argument is he has not looked at that Alabama schedule close enough, because it is going to be a really, really tough road. They're going to play Georgia in their very next game. They have Tennessee on that schedule. They have Missouri on that schedule. They have at LSU on that schedule. They have at Oklahoma on that schedule. So they are a very good team, but guess what? They have a ridiculously tough schedule coming up. I don't think that they are winning the SEC, and so they will not be a top 4 seed. The team that I'm going to make the argument for will win their conference, and they will be the 3 seed in the playoff and have an easier road to win it all, and that's Miami. Miami is the right answer because the fact that they have an easy schedule. They play in a bad conference. They're going to go and they're going to win the ACC. They're going to be a 3 seed. They're going to be set up. They're going to get the first round bye, which is going to be a huge factor. They're going to be automatically into the quarterfinals. And then at that point, you're talking about a quarterback who is the Heisman favorite right now playing in the college football playoffs. So to me, if we're going to eliminate those top tier teams like Ohio State, Georgia, and Texas, the biggest threat is Miami.
So I agree with Dave, and I think you know that Alabama, because I've been high on Alabama, but I do think the U is close to being back. I think they have their Greg Schiano. Like, Greg Schiano's the man for Rutgers. I think Mario Cristobal is the man for Miami. And I do think that they've got a good shot at winning the ACC. You're right. But you spent more time disproving Dave than you did putting time into your own pick. You spent well over half your time saying why Alabama won't win instead of focusing your energy on why Miami would win. I'm going Alabama.
That is ridiculously wrong. That is ridiculously wrong.
I can't even look at you. I'm putting a W on the board right now. If you're watching on YouTube, bam, bam,
no,
bam,
no.
Bam.
I knew that you were going to be just a horrible
W.
judge.
This isn't a political debate where all we do is smash the other person. We argue for what we believe in around here.
I gave you great examples, like the fact that Miami's going to be a 3 seed and Alabama's not even going to be a top 4 seed.
The funniest thing was he was saying I haven't spent enough time looking at their schedule. While he was saying that, I was looking at Alabama's schedule. Here's the thing. LSU, does anybody think Alabama's going to have trouble with this LSU team? They look awful.
At LSU is not an easy place to play.
Of course it's not. But LSU does not look good. Are we really worried about Oklahoma? They don't look good.
Oklahoma's not an easy place to play.
They have two that, Georgia and Tennessee. I bet they'll win one of those games. Alabama's going to be in the playoff. And if I'm in the playoff, yeah, and I've said I think Miami's going to win the ACC. Both teams are good. But if I'm Ohio State, I have to play Alabama or Miami. I'm playing Miami if I had to choose. I wouldn't have to think twice about it.
And I would say Alabama is the better team than Miami. I absolutely agree with that. I just think Miami's got an easier path to a national championship than Alabama. Alabama's got a really tough road because if you're not one of those top 4 seeds too, you're going to have a tough first round game just to get to the quarterfinals.
Ryan, fantastic job. What do you got next?
Trash.
All right,
just
guys.
Trash.
The group of 5. Should they have their own playoff?
Yes, they absolutely should have their own playoff. And I'll even get into a little bit of the details of what they should do. They should have an 8-team playoff that happens in mid-December. And here's the deal. Play the 8 teams, the first round games should be played on campus sites. 100% should be on campus sites of these small schools. Like, it'd be fun to watch Boise State hosting a playoff game. And do this on a Tuesday and Wednesday night. Don't try and go up against the other college football playoff games. Don't try and go up against the NFL. Take the Tuesday and Wednesday, kind of like Maction, and own it if you're the group of 5. Do that for your quarterfinals. Then have your semifinal on one site and do it like maybe the day before Christmas Eve or something like that, on a date where there's no other big sports going on, and then you have your championship on a neutral site as well. So I would absolutely say the group of 5 should have the playoff, and that's how I would do the playoff.
Yes, I think the group of 5 should have a playoff. And here's why. I mean, you could say, well, they have a chance now at the CFP because the highest ranked group of 5 teams going to get in. True. Typically, that's going to be the 12 seed, right? The 12 seed is going to have to go on the road to play the number 5 seed, who is probably going to be a really good team, probably better than one of the teams that got an automatic bye. That number 5 team is going to be really tough. You have to go to their place and play. So pretty much every year, the 12 seed is going to get smoked in the first round. Do we really think they have a legit chance at a national championship? No. I think those young men, it's quality football. They should have the right to play for a real national championship. All right, no different than what the FCS does, 1AA. Now, obviously, 1AA doesn't have a chance to play for the CFP. I get that, but again, does the group of 5 really have a chance to win the national championship? I would submit no, and I think those guys they should be able to play for a national championship. And my closing thought here: more football is a good thing. It would give us more football, more things to bet on. I think the group of 5 deserves their own playoff, their own national champion.
So I will say this. I agree with you guys. I think they should, because who the hell cares anymore, right? And more football it shouldn't count for a national championship, though. I totally disagree with that. But they should have a thing. I like your arguments there, Scotty, about don't try to compete with anything. Do it on nights where you have it to yourself and get all of the ratings. I think we should go the way of Scotty on this one. Woo! I think his arguments were better. What do you guys think about this? Instead of the expanded playoff that we've got now with the 12 that'll probably end up to 16, what if we would have kept it as a 4?
No.
And we could even have it as a 12 still, I guess. But what if we what if we have our group, our 4 power conferences have their no group of 5 in it? Group of 5 does their own thing. Then afterwards, the 2 winners play for the national championship.
After the national championships are really been decided.
Maybe it's not even a national championship. Maybe you just play them to see who wins.
That's a terrible idea.
I don't. So you're talking about having each conference have their own mini playoff?
I'm mad you ruled against me.
No. I'm saying we have our playoff like we have it, but no group of 5 in it. It's all power conference teams.
Okay.
Then the group of 5 has their tournament. And then the 2 winners play.
No.
So after this, can you imagine Ohio State wins the CFP over Georgia, and then and then next week they get to go play like Troy or something? Like, no.
I don't need to see Ohio State go win the national championship, and then, your reward, you got to go play Boise State.
And then half the team gets ready for the NFL. It's like, we just won the national championship. And by the way, for the FCS, you could, if you don't want to call it a national championship, you could just call it the FCS champion. I just feel like
Group of Five champion.
Group of Five champion. Those guys deserve. Excuse me, not FCS. Group of Five.
What if we call it the Governor's Cup?
Just make up a term. Act like soccer.
Well, no, that's what
act like soccer. Just start making up
That's what
terms.
the AAA baseball plays for, the Governor's Cup.
The on-the-money championship.
The on-the-money
The on-the-money cup.
You know what's funny, too, is if we did this Group of Five playoff, basically it would be a great scouting opportunity for all the schools that want all these transfers to come in. So that's what this would turn into. You'd have, like, all these assistant coaches in the stands watching and scouting because, this guy could be playing for us next year.
I'm surprised Michigan didn't tap into the portal. I'm serious.
I know.
Their quarterback situation is an absolute joke. I can't believe it. All right, up next is Best Bets on the Money.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Colin Man and T-Bone here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, do you know that there's games going on this weekend?
Oh, I know. And your game day headquarters is the sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Massive TV walls, 12,000 square feet, and all the gaming action you could want.
Wager at one of 4 betting windows and 30-plus betting kiosks. Beat the crowd and reserve a table for all game days this fall at HollywoodColumbus.com.
Wow, private table. Must be nice. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
A new voice for the citizens of Columbus.
I'm passionate about my community.
On your side, ABC 6 News introduces you to the Chiefs Advisory Panel.
They want to build bridges.
And their plans to improve the relationship between police and the community. Monday at 6 p.m.
With so much happening every day,
ABC 6 News is on your side, helping you understand the events that impact your community.
And when you need us, ABC 6 News is on your side.
6 on your side. They're the ones willing to answer the phone.
You can count on ABC 6 News to be on your side.
Live, ABC Tonight.
Hi, I'm Dan Levy.
And I'm Eugene Levy.
And we are hosting the Emmys.
The first ever father and son co-hosts take on television's biggest night.
It's going to be spectacular. The best ever. Huge surprises, massive laughs, unforgettable moments.
I think you might be setting the bar a little high.
With special guest presenters, iconic tributes, and so much more.
And the Emmy
goes to...
I'm a winner, baby!
The Emmys, live.
Tonight at 8 on ABC 6.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Whenever someone works on my home, I want it to be a company I can trust, that has a long-standing reputation, that you can stand behind their work, that you can build a relationship with. Well, that company for my roof, it was Newman Roofing. They have created a culture centered around creating an excellent customer experience for each project they are trusted with. They are committed to delivering a quality product every time, as they view each customer as a Central Ohio neighbor. At Newman Roofing, their commitment to you doesn't just end when the job is done. They're there to support you for the life of your roof, and you know you can trust them because of the longevity of their company and their family-owned. With their lifetime workmanship warranty, you feel confident that the decision to invest in your roof with Newman is going to be protected by a company that's been in business since 1992, and they're going to be around for generations more to come. So when you're looking for a repair or a full roof replacement, call the family company you can trust. Don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. 614-NEW-ROOF at newmanroofing.com.
If you have an unhealthy obsession with the Blue Jackets, we have just the remedy. Join us Wednesday nights at 7 for the Inside Edge. All the Jackets and hockey conversation you can handle. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Navigating mental health insurance benefits can be overwhelming, but you don't have to do it alone. The Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office is here to guide you. Our expert team will help you connect with your health insurance plan to understand available behavioral health benefits. Say goodbye to frustration and hello to control over your mental well-being. Call 855-438-6442 today.
My name is Marsha Blanks, and I live here in Cleveland, Ohio. Like a lot of African Americans, diabetes runs in our family. I have diabetes, and my husband has diabetes. His was worse than mine, and we made the decision that he would go on the insulin and I would not. It was too expensive. The drug companies are making a fortune. Nothing changed with the formulas, so why was it becoming so expensive? When I heard that Sherrod Brown had capped insulin at $35, $5, it meant that I could now take insulin and control my diabetes even better. It was a godsend. I'm feeling better. I'm losing weight. Sherrod, he stood up to the drug companies, and he actually won. And that showed me that he cared about us. I am 66 years old, and I do not plan on slowing down. And that's thanks to Sherrod, because I got the medicine I needed.
I'm Sherrod Brown running for Senate. I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Sherrod Brown.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas both think they're right. Chances are they're both wrong. On the Money presents Best Bets.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. If you need a driveway, garage, patio, even an in-ground pool, Maxima Concrete are the guys to call. Schedule a free estimate today at MaximaConcrete.com.
Okay, I'm going to give my best bet in just a second here. I'm really excited about it. But I got to address something from last segment, which may have been the worst idea in the history of ideas on the money. And we've had some bad ones. Ooh. But Ryan's idea of let's have the national champion of college football go on and play the group of 5 national champion might be the worst idea in the history of ideas. And that's like having the World Series champion. Oh, congratulations, you won the World Series. Now you got to go play the AAA winner. I mean, that was something, Ryan. Of all ideas out of your mouth, that's the worst.
I mean, I'm just trying to give you guys more football, and I don't know if Notre Dame would think that Northern Illinois is AAA baseball right now.
There we go.
All right, here we go.
I'm just trying to give you more football. That's all.
Scotty's hearing from the people. He's getting texts saying that this is the worst idea ever.
Yeah. So you don't want the group of 5 in the playoff at all then?
I'm fine with it. I want the group of 5, best group of 5 to be in the playoff, but I also want the group of 5 to hold their own playoff and determine, who's the best of the rest. I think that would be cool because, quite frankly, I want more things to bet on Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
Well, that's what I tried to give you, was more things to bet on. Yeah, another game.
I don't need that game. I don't need that one. All right, so best bet. I know that we all want to talk NFL and college betting, but I want to give you a little bit of value that's out there in the live golf world today. John Rahm leads in live golf Chicago, and he's the favorite, but he hasn't been spectacular at closing out tournaments. A lot of people will remember the Olympics when he was going for the gold medal recently, had a big lead on the back 9, blew that one. I like a little bit of value on Brooks Koepka 7-1, and I like a lot of value on Joaquin Niemann, who is 3 shots back at 10-1. I got to tell you, I placed a big bet on him at 33-1 late yesterday, but I've got Joaquin Niemann. I think there's good value on both Niemann and Koepka going into the final round today.
One of the things I love about this time of year, Scotty, is live golf. No. All right, let's get back to sports we care about. College football. We care about golf, but live golf, come on. September, got to focus on football. You're like, wait a minute, I want to focus on making money. Okay, you're right. That's the name of the show, On the Money. Make some money. USC, this is one of the, I think you better jump on. If you like this, you better jump on it now because I bet this is going to go up. USC's laying 6.5 at Michigan. Listen, USC's not a great team. I mean, they got a lot of props for beating LSU. LSU doesn't look that good. But they're going to beat Michigan by more than 7. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It is in Ann Arbor. But I love USC minus 6.5. I won't be surprised if that's 8.5 by kickoff.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I was kind of surprised. Again, earlier in the show, I had you kind of guessing at different spreads, and I was a little bit surprised that wasn't more than 6.5. I was kind of with you. I know your initial guess, your initial thought on that line was that it would be around 9.5. And it ended up at 6.5. That's one that I think is going to get above 7 very quickly. So if you want that number, grab it quickly. Now, looking at national championship odds, Dave, and look, we've talked about this. There's two teams to me that have looked fantastic so far this year, and it's 10 that we don't necessarily expect to be an elite team, but they have looked the part so far, and that's Tennessee and Miami. And Tennessee is 16-1 to win it all, and Miami is 18-1 to win it all. And I made the argument last segment about Miami. I think the 18-1 is good value because, guys, I almost think it's a near lock that they go on, win the ACC, and probably end up as the 3 seed in the playoff, because I think the Big 12 teams will kind of beat each other up a little bit. Kansas State's good. Utah's good. Oklahoma State is good. None of them are great. So I think Miami ends up at the 3 seed. And if you have Miami at 18-1 as a 3 seed with an opening bye, I think there's some good value in having that bet out there.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm seeing if the updated odds just to make the college football playoff, which you and I love, are still not up. They should be up any moment, but it's interesting looking at the updated national championship odds because all offseason it was right around plus 350 Georgia, plus 375 Ohio State, right around there, or plus 325 Georgia, plus 350 Ohio State. Then after a couple weeks, Georgia, it was like plus 275 Georgia, plus 450 Ohio State. Now, Ohio State and Georgia tied for the lowest odds, plus 350.
Yeah.
I find it interesting, man. You got the clear top 3 right now. Dare I say a clear top 4 with Bama. But no, I mean, Texas looks really good. But the Ewers injury, we'll see. Although Arch Manning looked pretty good.
Yeah, and what's funny is the Heisman Trophy market odd keeps changing as well. A couple weeks ago, Dylan Gabriel, the favorite. He's now out of the favorite spot. Then you have Quinn Ewers, the favorite. He's now out of the favorite spot. Now it's Cam Ward as the favorite.
And don't rule out Will Howard. He's going to have some big games against quality opponents. He hasn't really played like deep in games yet. I mean,
20-1, by the way.
Keep an eye on Will Howard. I think he'll be like, I'm not saying he's going to win. I do think Cam Ward will win it, but he is the betting favorite. But I like the value there with Will Howard. All right, that was our show for today. Thank you very much for joining us. For Scotty Vegas and Ryan Baker, I am Dave Biddle. Up next is pregame coverage of the Cleveland Browns at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This has been On the Money.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Colin Man and T-Bone here for our friends at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, do you know that there's games going on this weekend?
Oh, I know. And your game day headquarters is the sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Massive TV walls, 12,000 square feet, and all the gaming action you could want.
Wager at one of 4 betting windows and 30-plus betting kiosks. Beat the crowd and reserve a table for all game days this fall at HollywoodColumbus.com.
Wow, private table. Must be nice. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and a multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Heaven on earth. It's here in the mountain towns of West Virginia, draped in vibrant reds, yellows, and oranges. Some of America's most spectacular fall colors. The perfect backdrop to autumn adventure. From scenic train rides to fall festivals, and a cozy cabin waiting at the end of the day. Fall is almost heaven in West Virginia. Plan your getaway at wvtourism.com.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
PGA Tour's rising stars are back at the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship September 19th through 22nd, and so is Pub 13. Grab your friends, cheer for birdies, and enjoy drink specials on the 13th green. Get your free tickets